What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Come throw some batteries with us. Let's go.
Let's go. This ain't the fuck like before this game, he stink.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Hey folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
I should probably just put this in like a beer bong, the bag, and just take it down since it's late at night. But this is Monday morning quarterback on Tuesday night. We couldn't do it Monday. All right. Reasons. Guy had to go back to the dentist for we're following up on them ripping things from my skull. So hopefully that's the end of that. That's Ryan Brodo. That way, I'm Tom Arnone. The family out there, welcome in every Monday morning quarterback. We are brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Make sure you use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp right on the Apple Store. Go download it after the show. Play some daily fantasy. And the great thing about it, no salary caps. And they even have other stuff. Like you can, they got the Bachelor, Bachelorette contest. So it's very interactive, and you can challenge anybody at any time on a bet. Just don't challenge Calvin Ridley, but everybody else you can challenge. So feel free. I accept all offers. I say this all the time. We have some things to talk about tonight. The return of the kitten, Ben Simmons, tomorrow night, or Thursday night down at the Wells Fargo Center. That's going to be exciting. So we'll get into that. We'll get into how we expect and want the fans to react. I don't care about what what his agent's doing. I don't care what Rich Paul's doing here, like in terms of the money, in terms of I don't care about none of that. Okay, it's typical BS that's happened with the situation from the beginning. But we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what they're trying to do to get money back if some things take place down at the Wells Fargo. So we'll give you a little to do and not to do. I'm not going to tell you what not to do. Do it all. Leave it all out there. Sixers undefeated. We're on to the good news. Sixers undefeated with James Harden. So 5-0 since the James Harden trade per se that he's played. They're really 5-1. They lost one game without him. That was the back-to-back to Miami. So listen, they're playing great basketball. We're going to talk about it. Everything ties into our poll question, which is brought to you by Manscaped. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. The weed whacker, the lawnmower, the ball deodorant. I say it all the time, the body wash. They have everything. Literally, there's nothing they don't have. Clean yourself out. Clean yourself up a little bit, all right? Be the opposite of Ben, right? He's got nothing to shave down there. Clean yourself up, all right? Because most grown men do, all right? Clean it up for your ladies. Our poll question for tonight's show, the Sixers fans should be concerned about Tobias Harris heading into the playoffs. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the review. Give us a 5-star. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Hit the download, wherever you're tuning in from. And most of all, I say it on every show, make sure you're commenting in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know how you feel about the poll question. right? Let us know how you feel about the loser coming back. If you even care, if you even got a boo in you, let us know about it. Whatever you feel tonight, because this is a great time to be a Sixers fan. So the poll, I'm the opposite of negative when you're winning basketball games. Are you like, Tom's never the guy to go hunting when you're winning. And when you're watching with your eyes and you're saying, okay, and this is what Tobias, who we know can score, just getting through 8, 12, right? 14 maybe was his max, okay? Mm-hmm. There's also not 40 million shots to go around, and I think people need to understand that when he's running with the starters, right? So I thought last night he was more aggressive, at least taking it to the bucket. He had 2 dunks last night where I'm like, who's that guy? Is that Tobias? So that was encouraging. Dude, fit in, play good defense. He's gonna start hitting his threes, I'm sure, at some point. Right? He's really struggled with the threes since the arrival of Harden. I think that's gonna get better. I think part of it's like timidness almost in a way, right? Like, do I take the shot? Right, but as you're taking the shot, instead of trusting yourself taking that shot. So that's sort of how what my eyes tell me with it. But I don't believe, or I'm not. Listen, Tobias has not played great in the postseason to date. Right, he's been okay, but he hasn't played great in the postseason for us to think like, oh, he's gonna have a great postseason this postseason. No, I just can you be good enough? Can you be good enough? Because Harden and Embiid are gonna have good postseasons. So can you be good enough? And means he's a guy who's played in a lot more postseasons per se than a guy like Tyrese Maxey. I'm gonna need you to step up a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna need you to step up a little bit. Tobias, can you be around 14 now? The problem is, can you be 18, 20 if the puppy, right, has a little off night? Mm-hmm. That's the biggest question. But if that puppy has an off night, I just watched it last night. We all did. The best player in the NBA said, I got you all. Nobody worry about a thing here. James had an off night last night too, per se, offensively, right, to his standards. Okay, so 3 guys sort of had off nights to their standards against a Chicago Bulls team that we were tied with, right? We're all jumping up together, a good Bulls team, and you manhandle him. And he goes for 42, and nobody can stop him on the basketball court. And you say, we did all that, and 3 guys had off nights that are important to this basketball team moving forward? If you're concerned, buy a fucking clue. And that's as nice as I can be about it anymore. Like the complainers, the people out there that want to just smash groups with negativity, okay, go away. Because I sat through losing, and I'm not talking about just myself. Everybody did, right? I sat through a ton of losing. I sat through a ton of next year. I sat through a dark period of Sixers basketball. I sat through a goddamn period of Sixers basketball that when Joel Embiid dunked in warm-ups without ever playing a game, there were circle jerks going on, okay? I sat through an era where I watched another guy shoot a bunch of threes in practice and never come to fruition. So we sat through a lot of pain when you are knowingly tanking, and we all knew it. So now we are 5-0 with the addition of James Harden. We look like a complete basketball team. It's made us lengthier, right? It does so much for this basketball team where you can run out of those 4 guys, 2 guys with each unit. That's the kicker, right? So concerned about what? What 5-0? Concerned about what? So don't tell me they haven't beaten nobody. They beat up on Cleveland. They beat up on Chicago. And I'm not a big Chicago guy because I'm not a Levine guy, right? I think they're solid, and they're going to be better with Vooch and Lonzo for sure. Okay, but Joe eats Vooch for lunch all the time, so that don't stop that. Tristan Thompson's probably a better defender and a willing defender than Nick Vucevic is. So everybody slow down there. So we just beat 2 damn good basketball teams in terms of the standings, right? In terms of what their record is, correct? So what now? Because everybody told me it was the Knicks, and right, you didn't play anybody.
It's so funny too because you look all the way back to that Timberwolves game. After we beat them handily, it was, it's just the Timberwolves. Before it was, the Timberwolves, they're riding hot. They have 3 big stars, all that. Forget the fact that we've won 5 games with Harden. We haven't lost. We've won those games handily. Like, they haven't been close. And I get it, like, you really got to watch the games. Sometimes the score doesn't, fully sum up what the game is. No, we won handily. Like, we won those games running away. You look at the Timberwolves game, 133-102. Knicks, which I understand the Knicks aren't very good, but at the very least, they're going to play you extremely hard, which we saw in that second game, especially in that first half. The 2 Knicks games, 125-109, 123-108. Cavaliers, 125-119. And then the Heat, again, that's kind of it's not a wash, but you didn't have Harden, so I don't even talk about that game.
It's a wash.
And then you look at the Bulls, 121-106, and you had that game in your bag the entire day, the entire game, the entire night. So I said this to you before we came on, Tom, and again, maybe this isn't, a good thing to say on the air, especially with a guy who's making the most money out of anybody. But in this game, this most recent game, I never thought about Tobias. Like, there was parts where I forgot he was even there because that's how irrelevant he was. And yeah, for the most part, I don't want my max type player, most valuable as far as money player, being irrelevant, but he's irrelevant as far as he has been, according to Sixers Twitter, a non-factor, which I wouldn't even go that far. Like, he's done his job in certain roles. Has he been good and or great? No. But he's been little to no factor in all of these games, and we haven't felt the need to go to him once and be like, hey, Tobias, bail us out. If this was Tobias being the second option and we didn't have Harden, I'd be like, yeah, we need to be concerned because Embiid needs help. Or even if we had Harden and Embiid and we didn't have Maxey, like, yeah, you need a big 3. You need somebody to take pressure off of both of them, especially when either they're off the floor or they're having bad nights, but you have Maxey. And like, this guy isn't a starter. I love, there's a couple guys on A2D. There's a lot of people on Twitter that are saying this guy should start over Tobias, and no, stop it. But where Tobias has struggled with the quick shooting, Niang off the bench has really stepped up. So again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Tobias. I'm really not. He needs to get out of his own head, especially with the quick shooting, which I think it truly is. It's just him adjusting to it. But if you can get the big 3 doing what they've done, and they've shown they could do the past 5 games when you have all 3 of them in the lineup, and to your point, Tom, with kind of how like we've seen guys have off nights, for 3.5 quarters, Maxey was like a non-entity. Like, I actually thought he was hurt. And then he comes in, I think he ended up with 19 or 18 points. So like he still finds a way to come through and have some impact in games even when he's not on, per se. So if you can get those 3 to be consistent and do what they do, and then have kind of a combined faction of Tobias and Niang as your 4th option, I'm cool. And I'm cool because we haven't seen anything to be concerned about so far. So
yeah, we've seen him miss shots, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like, I mean, I don't think he's going to shoot that bad consistently from 3-point range. So he's going to sort of figure his way out here, right? And I think that's the biggest thing is you're watching a guy try to figure it out on the fly on where he fits, because he went from the second option to the 4th. And I'm not crowning when he was the second option. Okay, I'm just saying that's what transpired here. So I think it's more timidness, even though he's taking the shot, of just like trusting it. And I think as they continue to play together, that's why playing together is so important, right? Just period. I think he'll start to feel. I mean, Harden's so easy to play with, Joe's so easy to play with, but I feel like he'll start to learn where he fits in. Right, like, hey, this is a good shot, Tobias. And I think that's the other thing. I think Tobias is trying to take good shots. I feel like he's not trying to take bad shots because he's also a smart guy. And throughout this, I thought he's played good defensively. So
yes,
I don't want
really good against DeMar. Played really good against DeMar last night.
Yeah, like, I don't want this to go unnoticed. Like, I thought he played good in Miami defensively, and I thought he played good again last night defensively. So, listen, I know it only looks good on the offensive side, and I've been critical of Tobias when I've had to be. But this is Tobias. Do I need more? Yeah, I need you to be a little bit more consistent because you're a pretty consistent guy. I need you, hey, Tobias, can you give me 15? Tobias Harris just needs to be around 15. And people will say, well, Tommy's a max money guy. I mean, how do you not expect 30? That's not who he ever will be.
And it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Like, the money, like I hate saying that, Tom, like the money's
say
relevant, but it
In
really,
situations, Brian, in situations, and this is one of the situations where the money's irrelevant. Usually it's not. So I agree with you. Like,
Well,
usually it's not, but this one,
it's relevant in roster building. You know what I'm saying? Like with the trade machine, like that's when it's relevant. Like until July, it doesn't matter what he's making. And if all reports are true, he's gone. Like if he doesn't, it's I don't want to overly simplify for everybody, but it really truly is this simple. Either he's going to play well and he's going to show that he has a role in this team, or he's not and he's going to get dealt. Like it's that simple. So like I know we want everything to click now and we want the guy who was supposed to be that max type guy and we kept over Jimmy, even though I never understand that narrative because Jimmy was never staying. Like at the end of the day, I really truly think it's that simple. It's he works or he's gone. Okay, great. It doesn't matter how much he's making. It really doesn't because it didn't keep us from getting Harden. It didn't keep us from getting Maxey. Like the roster is what it is. Like we're riding with it for the rest of the year. It's either going to sink or it's going to swim. So I do want to ask you this one thing though, Tom, because I keep hearing, and I think you could chime in on this, especially as a coach too. I keep seeing, like why can't Tobias pick up how to play with Harden like Maxey is? And like my quick take, just as an outsider, is that, well, Maxey's not thinking. Like he's 21 years old. Like I don't know a 21-year-old who thinks, period. You know what I'm saying? Like he is a much better fit with Harden because he goes back into his natural role like he was in college. And a game plan, especially with Harden and Embiid, they're going to kind of lull you to sleep at times. With Maxey kind of just running around off ball, he's open all the time. And especially with him getting better at the three-point shooting, he's not like a one-trick pony anymore. Tobias is kind of that slow, he's gonna dribble and he's gonna pivot and he's gonna rock you to sleep. Like it's different players. And also, like I said, Tobias has done things one way his entire career. Maxey's in year 2. So I think it's much easier for Max to just be like, oh, okay, I got to go play basketball.
I don't think it's just because he's young. I that he's not thinking. I think that because there was times he was thinking just with Joel and about like when he should take shots, right?
Yeah.
And I felt that earlier on in the year at times. I think we all did.
Passive. He became passive.
What happens is when you get Harden out there and you have another guard that now teams have to say, okay, well, we got to get our best defender on the perimeter on him, right? Now he's playing off ball and he's going to get the other perimeter guy, right? And he's going to be too fast for him, too quick for him, and his things all fit. It fits perfect in that role. Like to your point too, he's a perfect fit because you're talking about two guards that are different. You got thunder and lightning. That's how I look at when I look. We should get a T-shirt made there, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I'm looking when you talk about Tyrese Maxey and James Harden. They're two completely different speeds, and when you have those two types of speeds coming at you, you can have a ton of success offensively. And it almost goes to talk about when we had the success with Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, right? The change of pace can really hurt teams and disrupt them defensively, and that's what we're watching. And then we're watching the best big man, aka the best player in basketball, dominate at the same time. Tobias gets put to a little bit of a back burner and says, hey, if I need to come to you, like as a guy that's analyzing and a fan, you're going to hear a lot from me.
Well,
right now, I don't have to do it yet. I'm not there yet.
And to your point,
no reason I lose a game.
Exactly. And even then, again, and really it's about situation.
Yeah, I'm not going to go, they lose next game because of him. I'm not going to start yelling like bench him. He's not getting benched. So
no, that's full. I mean, he's literally the only power forward on the team. Like Paul Reed's not a power forward. George Niang's not a power forward. You know what I'm saying? Like he's really the only power forward on the team. Unless we're talking about Millsap, but Millsap's 90. I do want to bring up too, like you look at kind of the structure of the team and you talk about like, oh, we'll wait until a loss to really go to him. But correct me if I'm wrong. If you lose a game, whatever, in the regular season on a Tuesday or in the playoffs, before I go to Tobias, if you're losing, I'm thinking to myself, well, what happened to the other 3 guys? Before I even look at Tobias. You know what I'm saying? Because if Tobias matters as much as people think he does, and listen, he matters. He's the 4th option on a championship contender. He matters, especially with what he's getting paid. So I don't want to dumb that down. But if everyone thinks he's the centerpiece, which I think is foolish, then what the hell happens if Harden, Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey struggles? Like, those three all need to struggle in a game for Tobias to then be that entity, which I don't think you're going to see often. Like, you'll see, like you said at the beginning, you're going to see Embiid have an off night and Harden, like he statistically did, at least scoring-wise last night, but I don't even think he struggled that much. Not that you said that, but it's just, I think he just saw, oh, Embiid's going off. I'm just going to be a playmaker. I'm just going to help him. And Maxey was just irrelevant just because Embiid was going off. I don't even look at Tobias in a loss. And maybe I'm wrong for that because he's a max-type player, but there's three guys ahead in the pecking order. If you lose or if you get blown out in a playoff game, I look to those three first.
Yeah, because they didn't do something.
And then I might go to the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might go, and I'm not, this isn't like to come on here and be like, oh, leave Tobias alone. No, he's getting paid to do a job, and he has been the one guy who really hasn't adjusted.
I'll say this. You're right that it's because of the other three, but I'm not even going to go with the third yet because he's so young. It's on the other two. So if I'm even worrying about, like, the other two might have off nights, you just got to hope that when one's having it, the other picks it up. That to be that third option per night, right? Because you're losing playoff games if your two stars struggle. If your two stars are unconscious and feeding off each other and they're going for 30 plus together, well, guess where you're going? You're going on to the next game or the next series or wherever you're at. So that's the importance of it. So then you're right. Like, we're not going to talk about those two unless those two are struggling and we need those two. And listen, there's going to be games that happens. You know, I don't know if Joe ever struggles, but you know, there's going to be games that maybe Harden doesn't have it offensively. And that was last night. And that's my mic drop to people. That was last night. So that's how good of a basketball team this is. That's how good Joel Embiid is. That's actually, like I say, Doc Rivers is a damn good coach. We give him heat sometimes. He's not Greg Popovich, but he's a damn good coach. All right, and I'll never run from Doc being a damn good coach because when we hired him, that's what I believed in Doc Rivers. Hey, a little bit of failure, right? Hey, a little failure, but guess what? You know, you won one. It's been a while since you won one, and guys want to get back that taste back when they experience it one time. And listen, I think he's a good coach, and I think he can learn from his mistakes from last year too, of running too many bench lineups. And I said the key earlier on, and this is the real biggest key of it, is when you can run two guys out of these four with different units, it allows you not to have to go 9-10 deep.
It's a constant two-headed monster. At least. Like, there's going to be times, beginning of games, end of games, where all four of them are out there. But at the very least, it's going to be two. That's freaking disgusting. And like Jesse asks a good question. He says, what if Harden and Joe play great, but Tobias plays 38 minutes and gives you 8? Well, Jesse, I'll just ask you. If in the situation where Harden and Joe play well, how many we win by? Because I'm just telling you right now, Harden's been awesome. We haven't seen him play great yet. There hasn't been a game where he's had to go off, or he has gone off because he hasn't had to. There's a handful of games I can count on it. You know, I think 3 out of the 5 were going into the fourth quarter. He had like 6 shots. He had like 17 points on 6 shots. So like everybody's saying, oh, Harden's going to take over. He hasn't had to yet. Like, he hasn't had to eclipse 30 yet.
Well, he's taking over in different ways, and that's what people want to understand. And, you know, he's getting a lot of guys involved. You know, I think he's walked through the door and said, hey, look, I'm gonna show people I'm unselfish. I'm going to show people what kind of overall caliber player I am, right? And also came in knowing that, hey, this is the other guy's team, right? So I'm going to get him touches. I want to keep him happy. I'm going to feed the big dog. And when you're feeding the big dog, there's a reason you're 5-0. And I'll say it till the day I die, right? The day I die. Great big men win championships. They just do. 2 guards always shine shoe deals. I've always believed in that. And I'm watching arguably the best big man that I've seen since Shaquille O'Neal. And I can argue with you, and I'm the biggest Shaquille O'Neal fan there is. I can argue with you that the way he's playing right now is better.
Well, he has the outside game that Shaq never had.
Yep. He can, and not even that. Not even that.
Oh, he makes his foul shots.
He's money from the line.
Yeah.
Like, so we've seen dominance in terms of pure back to the basket. I'll blow you up every time. And Joe can do that, right? He can do that. So I look at Joe and I say, ooh, now listen, to be Shaquille O'Neal, you got cut nets down and hang banners from the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in terms of the way you're playing, like, man, this is scary.
Well, and the other thing too is, and this is not a shot at James. Like this is a credit to James Harden. This is why we were so excited and why I've wanted him here for years. It's that he has really coasted off, like he's coasted offensively. Like he's picked his spots. He's gotten other guys involved. He's taken a backseat for the most part to Embiid, and to some instances to Tyrese Maxey, which I just love. Like the one guy, I forget his name. I think Rob Perez on Twitter. I actually like his account, but I remember when Harden got traded here, he put out a tweet like, Tyrese Maxey says he's open and Harden says, so what? Like it's literally been the exact opposite of that. It's been Harden's been saying I'm open and Tyrese Maxey says, so what? But there's going to be a night where Embiid is having an off night. His off nights now are like 22, 14, and 8, which is disgusting. And Harden goes off for like 36, and Sixers fans are going to be like, the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Oh, he could do that too? Like, he could do that because he's really just picked his spots. He gets guys involved. He's tried to get Thibault involved, which I think has been great for Thibault. You know, Maxey's been doing really good. Tobias has picked his spots, and obviously Embiid's been Embiid. And George Niang, I mean, my God, if you talk about a match made in heaven, it's those two. And I really think, depending on how long Danny Green's going to be out with the finger injury, I think you're going to see some of Danny Green really reaping the rewards too. The difference is George's shots are falling. Danny's not getting up nearly as much volume, and his really aren't falling either. But there's going to be times where they lean on him too, and I think you're going to see those kind of rewards also.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, Jay Love.
Thank you, Jay.
Brother. $20 super chat. He says, Tom, I'm afraid Doc is going to find a way to let us down the playoffs. We'll be in a tight game 5. And here comes Furkan, the buzzer. And here comes Furkan. And the whole second unit out there. And let team go on a 24-3 run. Listen, J-Love, I mean, that's almost assassination worthy. Unless like Joel Embiid died. Right? Like it's, you know, these 4 guys just were not available. Right? If you have these 4 guys available and you run an all bench lineup, you should be shot on the spot. Just right. That's it. That's enough coaching. Right? We're just gonna escort this guy out of here.
Fans are gonna be running on the court.
yeah, that's a battery toss.
Yeah.
That's a battery toss. Like everybody in the stand should throw everything on the court so they have to stoppage a play. And then he's gotta say, oh shit, did I just have all them guys out there? Like, you don't got to say anything, just throw something. So give him a minute to think.
Did I do that? Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
No, I mean, J-Love, we've said this before, and I have said back then, like, I'm not Mr. like, oh, I would fire Doc Rivers. I'm not trying to become the Phillies where every 2 years we're getting a new manager. But no, the stubbornness of Doc Rivers does keep me up at night sometimes, right? So you're absolutely valid for having that fear, especially because whether we like it or not, he does have an obsession with Furkan Korkmaz. And I don't want to say I applaud him for not playing Furkan because he shouldn't have been playing in the last 3 weeks. But I'm glad somebody got in his ear or he finally saw the light to where like you didn't even take him out of the warm-up sweats. That's good. But if anyone thinks that we're never going to see Furkan again, like I heard this on the dial this morning, like, oh, well, this could be the signal that Furkan's officially out of the rotation. We're going to see. We'll probably see him on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. like I get it. Like I really want it to be Isaiah Joe too because Furkan just can't play basketball. But we're going to see Furkan Korkmaz again. Hopefully not in the playoffs, but Doc's going to keep going back to the well until he physically cannot get any more water out of the Korkmaz well anymore.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 guys are just the same to me in a way. Isaiah Joe and Furkan. Like I mean, whoever's on the court, it's I don't have a lot of confidence.
What's your and I want the fam to chime in on this too. What is your official rotation if you're Doc Rivers? How many are you going and who's in right now?
So Well, you're gonna need to play DeAndre Jordan probably 10 minutes, 15 in the playoffs.
Look
So,
good. Look good last night.
yeah. So I mean, there's one. You're gonna have to play Shake. There's two.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to play Niang. There's three. And then you'll probably play Danny. And there's four. And there's your nine.
It's not bad.
It's not. There's
No, like everyone talks about it's the worst bench ever.
no.
First off, I would like to go like one of these shows. I want to go around to like the other benches in the East because I know the Bucks have a pretty good bench, and Miami's deep, and Miami's Miami. But
People will look at us as a hat saying, "Oh, it looks like they have a pretty good bench." Like when you hear the names.
yeah, and like because again, it's a fit. George and Danny and really DeAndre all fit perfectly with Harden.
Mm-hmm.
And Shake is that guy. He can run along with Maxey. I mean, I don't know if Shake really fits in with anybody, but Shake. You know what I'm saying? Like he could do a little bit of everything for you if he knows how to dribble that night. But to your point, Tom, like I would much rather have Shake Milton than Furkan or Isaiah Joe. So if Shake Milton is your ninth man, that's fine. That's it's whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that I don't think like all four are really going to run together at the same time. So that's the other side of it is you're going to have two guys on the court with like three of those guys. So if you have DeAndre, say, Shake, Harden, and like Tobias, right? You know, you have situations like that. So I mean, you're going to have different things that they're going to do. That's not running like an all bench where it's four guys and one of your impact players.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you're always going to have like scoring coming off your bench per se because you're going to have starters in with them. And at worst, you're going to get them at least easier looks and opportunities to have an impact of some sort. I mean, because when I look at Shake, I look at a guy who can score, 10 a night, 10 plus points a night, right? When you look at Shake, so you're like, okay. And you just look through it. Like Danny can hit a 3 or 2, whatever. You know what I mean?
Thank you again, Jay. He says if Embiid has a flaw, it's that he's too docile. I think. Ooh, I like that word. I think what would be the difference is Harden won't be afraid to get in Doc's face and tell him that he's an idiot, and he needs to make appropriate adjustments. So a little Coach Harden, you're saying, Jay? No, I mean, I would hope that Doc Rivers, again, like anybody who's in professional sports is going to have an ego, but I would hope that he listens to the leaders of his team, like an MVP candidate in Embiid and a former MVP, a top 75 player of all time in James Harden. But also on the flip side, Jay, and again, this is where kind of you and my fear kind of comes in a little bit. I would also hope that we don't get into that situation. And to Tom's point, this isn't going to be like it was last year or even years prior where you have to run all bench lineups, in the playoffs. You're going to always have a two-headed monster at least, whether it's Harden and Tobias or Harden and Maxey or Tobias and Embiid or Maxey and Embiid or whatever, any version of the four. And then you can fit in a Niang in a Harden lineup, a Danny in a Niang lineup, a Thibault in a Harden. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand this. Well, some people do. That's why we were excited about the trade. But adding Harden in here, he makes so many else's job so much easier because he's either going to take pressure off of a bench lineup because he's just going to score at will, or he's going to command so much attention that George Niang, even though he puts up 5 threes in the fourth quarter, he's going to be wide open. You know why? Because George Niang is not James Harden or Joel Embiid. And it's because it's just the respect thing.
Yep.
It's the fit. And as long as they're on the court with Harden or Embiid or Maxey, because I would even think Maxey puts them in really good spots because he's played starting point guard for a majority of the season, especially before Harden got here. I don't want to say I'm not worried about it because we always want the roster to be better. But I think the whole bench, the bench is going to screw us in the long run. I don't really think so.
Calvin's right. I mean, now that you have Harden so much more playing with that second unit, at times it makes it so much better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It gives guys more open looks. He draws a lot of attention. He's a great distributor. So it really all that matters. It truly does.
I do want to ask you this really quick before we get to the Ben, because this is actually the first Monday morning quarterback on a Tuesday since we've had this is the first post Harden show you and I have done together, except for the Wednesday show, obviously. So I want to do a little quick update on kind of like a top 4 teams, not that we fear, but teams that have our attention in the Eastern Conference that are like the biggest threats to us.
Well, I mean, it's going to be Milwaukee.
I agree.
If I ranked them, like I'll play anybody anywhere. I think this is the best team in the Eastern Conference. But if I had to rank them for the question, for sake of the question, Milwaukee. I guess Miami.
Miami. I'm a little worried about Miami.
I'm not the least bit worried about
Miami. I know you're not. And fam, I'm not. It has nothing to do with Saturday's game. Before anyone's like, "Oh, Ryan, he didn't have heart." It has nothing to do with that.
They just don't have enough star power for me. They have really good basketball players. They have a good bench. I get it. They're good. They're well coached. I get it. Zone don't work when Harden's out there.
I know. And maybe
don't work when Harden's out there.
I'm not worried about the zone. A
lot of people are.
Oh, I know. Oh, trust me. I saw a whole thing in the group. It was like a 20. Yep. It was like a 200 comment thread in the group the other day.
People get worried about the zone. Harden out there, you can't zone up like that to try to take Embiid away.
Their backup guards, though, it's Hero and Oladipo. And I know Oladipo's not the Pacers' Oladipo, but that's
if he makes it that far again.
Yeah, if he doesn't shatter into a million pieces.
But I mean, I think listen, I could argue, and I won't because I hate them. So you know what I'll do? I'll put the Nets second because anytime you have KD, I guess I got Milwaukee is because they're, in my opinion, they're the best. Like besides us, like they're tough. They have a dominant big man, a guy who can just score down low whenever he wants to, right? So when you have that, you're 1 and 2, and then everything else comes after, in my opinion. So then I'll go Miami. All right. So I'll leave the Nets out of it. I mean, I'll put the Nets. I'm not worried about. This is the thing. I'm not worried about teams. So Milwaukee, the Nets, Miami, and I guess Boston.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, because what you're saying, and you're not wrong, that it's kind of a lot of them are on the even playing field. So, like, would it make any
something like KD can go off for 50?
And Giannis, I don't know who's guarding Giannis.
Yeah, if
that we have, I don't think we have that guy.
Yeah, if both KD and Kyrie are playing, like, do they both go off for 40 plus? Like, and but the thing is, we have that same capability, but even more so. And that's what nobody has. The only other team that's like close to us that you could say can score like us is probably the Nets. Like Milwaukee's hit or miss scoring like that with us. Like they'd be hit or miss. They probably get there. They're good. Like that's the thing. Everybody's good. Everybody's good.
Okay, let me ask you this: with Milwaukee in a 7-game series, how many points do you think Giannis averages in a 7-game series against us?
Probably 30.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say 32. So we're right there.
Yeah, 30 plus.
Because then you need to rely on Middleton going
a really
off.
Good big man that makes it a little tougher for him. I would say, I think a little bit.
Say that again. We have a really good big man, you said, or they do?
A really good big man that makes it a little tough for him, I would think.
Yeah.
Like through 7 straight.
Yeah. And also, like, as much as I say we don't have anybody to stop Giannis, they don't have anybody to stop Embiid. Because Brook Lopez, he's still out. He's still hurt. And, like, I like Bobby Portis. Like, I like guys on their team. I mean, they're the defending champions, so I clearly like them. So, like, how many games do you think a Milwaukee Sixers series would go? If you, like, under the assumption, like you said, that you think we are the best team in the Eastern Conference.
6 or 7. Probably lean towards 7.
So us beating them in 7. you would go.
Yeah, I would say, like I said, 6 or 7 somewhere.
What about Miami?
Probably 6.
I was gonna say I think it at least gets to 6 just because of Spoelstra alone. That's how much I respect Spoelstra.
Yeah, I mean it could be 5 too. If Embiid and Harden go off, it could be over real quick for them. I don't care how much firepower they have.
Who's your main worry? Name the guy who's your main worry on the Heat, player or coach? I'm interested to see where you go with this.
Hero. I think he's their most important because if he doesn't go off, they're in trouble.
He's the needle mover. He's that friggin' like they're that good because he was resurgent. They went to the finals because he was bubble man. Like no disrespect to
got some of that bubble pussy back, and now
he became a boxer for a year. He's like, oh, I'm a celebrity now. He came out of the bubble. He's like, oh my god, people know my name. And again, that's like I respect Jimmy Butler. Bam's good, even though I think Embiid could handle him. Lowry, I forget is on the team half the time because he barely plays. Hero and Spoelstra, I look at that if Hero has one of those series like he did in the bubble a couple years ago, and Spoelstra, I don't know. I'm little. They have my attention. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put anything on Spoelstra. Like I'm not gonna let him factor into wearing me. Just because he hasn't won since LeBron. So I mean, good. I can make the same case about Doc I make for him. They're both good coaches, right? His zone looks so great when it's just Embiid out there. When it's just Embiid and there's nobody that stretches the floor.
Definitely the best roster they've had since LeBron, though. And it's not. I'm not saying it's close.
No, it's a very good roster. I'm not taking anything away from the Miami Heat. I mean, what did I rank them? 3?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2?
Yeah,
I got them 2. Right.
You originally had them 2. You were flip flopping between them and the Nets.
Them and the Nets. So I still respect them, but I just think we're better than them. We'll beat them in 6. If Hero don't have a great series, or somebody important for them doesn't have a great series, we beat them in 5.
How much do the Celtics have your attention with their run? Because the Celtics are getting a lot of I think a couple people put them like second.
Yeah, calm down. I mean, I'll go 4 because who they like? I think I had them 4th, right? Because who's stopping Embiid?
I would hope that the Al Horford thing's over.
Al Horford. Get Al and Anna, yeah. but double team. Family.
Yeah, well, it's good. The true answer is they're going to run Robert Williams and Horford. That's their game plan. But again, if you're doing that, you're leaving somebody open.
I'll say, hey Bill, hey Bill, you want to run? Who was the second guy you said?
Robert Williams.
Bill, you want to run Robert Williams at Joel all day? You think that's going to? You Daniel Tice? I mean, Daniel. Oh my God.
I still have nightmares from the Daniel Tice game a couple years back in the playoffs. I still have nightmares about that. With that being said, I'm not concerned. With that being said,
but they're extremely talented, Tatum and Brown. And when you have two guys like that can go. Bill, calm down. Okay,
Bill, half the roster was at the All-Star game by then. Bill, stop. You guys celebrate like you won the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, have a feel for life. You have nobody to stop the big man. And that's the difference maker in all these series. Bill, I would say that you're probably better, in my opinion, than everybody but Milwaukee and Philly. I would almost venture to say that you're better than the other teams. That doesn't mean I fear you because you have no big man to slow me down. At least Miami has Bam, which doesn't ain't going to slow Joe down. But at least they have some size to throw at him. You don't have enough size to throw at Joel Embiid, so that makes it an ugly series for you. But for those other teams, like you beating the Nets and you beating these other teams, absolutely, Bill. I mean, I think that those two are so good and starting to understand each other more that I think that the Boston's a very good basketball team and scary for those other teams.
I think we're going to see Boston. I think the way it's going to shake out, I think we're going to see Boston in the second round.
Al Horford and Anna Horford can't even slow down Joel Embiid. I mean, that becomes an ugly series for you. It just does. It's a matchup nightmare. But if you play those other teams outside of Milwaukee, will smoke you, in my opinion, in a 7-er. Milwaukee takes you out in 5 or 6 because they just got too much size for you. Too much size.
Giannis is just a different. He's just a different one.
You need to see guards throughout your run, Bill.
Yeah, like I think Drew Holiday handles Brown. And then you got to look at, okay, is Tatum gonna outdo Giannis? And I didn't even factor in Middleton or Bobby Portis. But Bill, I would say, like, so Tom, I would say my rankings. I would actually put the Celtics over the Nets. I would go Bucks 1, Heat 2, Celtics 3, Nets 4. And just because, and again, this is all projection, but I was saying to you before we came on, Tom, I'm starting to think Simmons doesn't play. I mean, fam, I'll ask you. Maybe and this is not a hatred thing.
You mean all year, correct?
Yeah, I don't think we see him, period. I don't think we see him until next year. Because, and here's my thought. Again, this is an insider source. This is none of it. This is just a hunch by me. So I could be dead wrong. He could play. I wouldn't be shocked on the flip side if he plays the game after the Thursday. He gets out of Philly and then all of a sudden he's miracle. He can walk again. But according to Windhorst, who's been kind of the poster child of the clutch sports and the whole Harden Nets duo whole conversation, he's said numerous times in the last week he doesn't expect him to play at all in March. So then I think, if you're not playing in March, what are you playing in for a week and a half in April? Like, this isn't a Kyle Schwarber Cubs thing where you just activate him in the World Series. Like, to me, especially with how a lot of organizations are and how the Nets have been historically, especially in recent terms with Kyrie and KD, to where you like getting guys back and having kind of a 2-week buffer before you get real. I really don't see him showing up game 1 of the playoffs and it's like, hey guys, nice to meet you. The guy's not practicing with his teammates. He hasn't touched 5-on-5 drills. I don't know. I don't think he plays. And again, they used the word a couple days ago, setback with his back. And this could all be, I get it, like, oh, he's just trying to avoid Philly. But they were already doing that beforehand. I don't think you go to the setback thing. It's like, oh, he's just not ready. Like, when I hear setback, I'm thinking, oh, well, now they're preparing not to see him.
Well, I think when they wanted what they wanted in return of 2 players that can start right away, that they sort of knew that might happen. Yep. And them saying, okay, that's all right. Right. So they look at their starting 5 and say, okay, we have a very good starting 5 when Kyrie plays because, Seth and Drummond and then whoever else they roll out there as besides KD, but they have a very good starting 5 now.
Yeah, they were looking at it as, okay, what are we going to do if Simmons doesn't show up and if Joe Harris can't get back on the court, which we've saw the past 10 days. Joe Harris out for the year. He did everything he could. He's got to have surgery. So that's why Seth Curry was so important to that deal for them, because he's the Joe Harris replacement per se. I actually think he's better than Joe Harris. And on the flip side, Drummond, he's that Embiid stopper. I think that's funny because even when Drummond was the star in Detroit, he was never an Embiid stopper. No. But I get it. Give him length, give him size. Him and Claxton.
I don't even think it's much about the Sixers. It's more about just like having size. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just a rebounding, some defense, which he's going to give you against anybody. He's going to give you at least 15 boards a night.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you're like, did he get that many rebounds? Like I said, you say it all the time here. Like, wait, he got 17 rebounds a night? My goodness.
The most quiet 17 rebound a night guy I've ever seen.
Yeah. So, I used to say before he came here, like, he's a stat stuffer. Like, sometimes you don't even know did he play? Wait, he had 14 and 14? Or, he had 18 and 18? Like, he played tonight? So, listen, there's going to a little to do, not to do. Like, I don't care what people do tomorrow night. Like, I don't care about him wanting to get money back and holding it against Philadelphia or this franchise to try to recoup money. I don't care. Right? Like, I joked around about battery throwing. Like, here comes the batteries tomorrow. Like, I wouldn't go that far, people. Okay, but a little fuck you, Simmons, like little stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah, let it rain tomorrow. Let it rain verbally. Let it rain. That's what I want to say to the fans out there. verbally, it should be an assault. Okay, like it should be an absolute onslaught because in my history of watching basketball in any sport, period, any sport, not even just basketball, I've never witnessed anything like this.
No.
I've never witnessed a bigger FU to a fan base and a loyal fan base, right? Like I've witnessed with Ben Simmons and we witnessed with him. So to me, listen, anything that's not going to get you arrested is allowed.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm sick and tired of, too, Tom? Like, I'm so sick and tired of people, especially who think they have a platform and have the voice of the people, per se, going on Twitter and on airwaves and telling people how to feel, right? Stop gatekeeping, please. Enough. Like, everyone can feel how they want. If people are over it, great. You're more understanding than 99% of the fan base. But I've seen so many people the last 10 days, especially the last few days, going on, oh, can we just move on? Why are we still talking about him? Well, for starters, he's on one of the biggest threats in the Eastern Conference in the Brooklyn Nets. Sorry, I didn't know if you missed that part. He's going to be a topic because he's not in freaking Portland or Sacramento. 2, you're playing him. And 3, oh, by the way, if you want us to move on, well, he hasn't moved on because he filed a freaking grievance against the team today. Yeah. So, like, if anyone who's saying, guys, we need to be better, move on, he's trying to file grievances. So all of that, oh, what's in the past is in the past. It was never about the team. It was never about the fans. Well, that went out the window, didn't it, Benny?
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, the grievance doesn't affect me because it's like, hey, you're just trying to recoup money that you think the organization owes you for sitting out, whatever. Any agency is going to file those, right? Like any good agent is going to try to recoup your money, right? No matter if you're the biggest jerk off and asshole that ever walked the planet.
Oh, fair.
So that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is what he's, and I know this bothers you too, but like what bothers us is what he's done. The disrespect, the FU to the people who supported him. Like, and there was a ton of this fan base that would bend over and let him put it in, no matter what he did, right? No matter what he did. And the fact that you do that to people like that supported you, you shot a 3-pointer against the Chinese national team, and you made it, and you got a standing ovation like you won Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Grow the fuck up, Peter Pan, okay? Because this is basketball. This is basketball. The first thing I'm teaching Cass is how to shoot, right? Like, hey, Larry Bird drill, right? Hey, little Larry Bird drill. Hey, got no Larry Bird drill. Grow up, man. Come on. So we gave you love for that, and this is how you return the favor. And listen, so file whatever grievances you want. It's going to feel good for this fan base to let you have it tomorrow night, even if you are up in the box, and that's where he'll be, right? But KD said, hey, he needs to be sitting right here and go through it. He said, you get paid $40 million.
Well, you think he's going to be in a box?
Well, there's 2 options. He's either going to be in the box, like some people say, or he'll be right on the bench. And KD said, you pretty much need to come and just deal with it. You're getting paid $40 million. You see that? Did you see what Kevin Durant said? So that's important here.
Yeah, if he goes and he sits in a friggin' box, I feel like that's worse than not showing up.
No, he's going to show up, and he's going to be on the bench, in my opinion.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people say, like, I think Sweeps said, like, hey, I think he'll be in the box. Maybe it was Sweeps. Yeah, no shot he's on the bench. He's scared of his own shadow, which I completely agree with. But I also think that, he's almost getting pressure from, like, KD to get through it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you got to show him you get through it. And the only way he's going to be able to file the grievance and win is if he's on the bench and he really gets it.
Well, he's
not going to win that anyway. But
they're doing that in the slight case. They're trying to bait the fans because if one idiot out of the entire sold out crowd throws a bottle, then you have grounds, in their opinion, anyway.
Oh my God!
I still think the whole situation's fraudulent, but that's what they're doing.
Could you imagine if the whole stadium just started throwing stuff right at the Nets bench?
Listen, if one idiot's going to do it, you might as well all do it. You know what I'm saying?
Could you imagine like really let it rain, like crab fries and all, like crab fried cheese?
Oh yeah, he'll get bathed in the friggin' the dust, the friggin' the Old Bay seasoning,
gigantic pretzels.
Yep, that infamous $17 milkshake that the Wells Fargo is apparently selling, which for another show, I mean, come on, that's crazy to me. I did get this a little while ago, though, Tom. It was actually this morning. Pat Gallen of CBS Sports, he said, I have been told by numerous sources that security will be beefed up surrounding the entire Nets bench at the Wells Fargo Center on Thursday. Was this the president? Was this the president?
I mean, you know,
Was this Pope Mobile?
we have a reputation. Yeah, we have a reputation.
Oh, I get it.
I mean, listen, I love it that he's that special. That he gets extra security. Let's make sure he's taken care of. It would be even funnier if we just gave him a standing ovation. Like if it was even sarcastic.
Well, I think I would love to hear your opinion on this. What's your thoughts on them doing a video tribute?
Oh, I think it's hysterical.
Well, I think they're going to do it.
If they do it, it's hysterical.
Well,
it's a big F you. Like, we don't care about your money. Here's your money.
No, it's genius, though. It's genius. Because the Sixers look great because they're thanking you. And then you're also inciting a reaction.
Yep.
So, like, the Sixers could be like, well, we thanked them, and then it's going to rain. That might be where a bottle gets thrown. You know what I'm saying? Like, play it a couple times.
Bring your
have
back.
like different versions. Like have like a playoff one where like he doesn't take the layup, he misses the dunk. Have a playoff one, and then have like a regular season one, and then have one just when he played the team against China. Or maybe you could do like a Ben Simmons like summer tribute with all like the footage. So yeah, we have a lot of ideas. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could share the footage once. It's like that was like, oh, that's why we dealt with him for so long, because he kept showing like, hey guys, I'm going to shoot this year. It's like cheer for summer, Ben, and then we slowly mold into, Ben Simmons not taking the any foul shots or not taking the open dunk. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, good video tribute, and and then you hammer him after it, or at that point, I think there should be a ton of fuck Ben Simmons.
F Ben Simmons. I think a really good one is we got Harden. I would actually put money on that being something.
Yeah, I think both are going to be heard tomorrow night or Thursday. Sorry, I think both will be heard. Fuck Ben Simmons will be heard, and it should be a 3-point contest, Jesse, just to make it like a 3-point contest. Like here's all his threes, because that's probably the most you can get on video. But 90% of them are going to be in the off season, wearing like fake, his own shorts.
Listen, if I were the Sixers too, what I would do for a little halftime entertainment, I wouldn't call who's the lady who balances the plates? I wouldn't do that. I would leave her at home. What was it, the Panda, Magic Panda or something? Mm-hmm. The lady who's on the unicycle with the plates. I don't know. Somebody would tell me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would have the halftime entertainment be a fan interactive foul shot competition for maybe like a gift card. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a free Frosty. Little tribute to Ben. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, here's Jimmy from South Philly. He can make some free throws. Ben, you want to try? Because it's low-hanging fruit for me to say 3-point competition. No. Foul shot competition.
Be a layup.
Red Panda. Thank you, Hills. Red Panda. Very good.
Be a layup competition.
That too. Hey, maybe do a little skills. You go layup, foul shot, 3-point. No, Don, I'm not losing it. The Sixers need to call us for ideas.
I think they should just replay this, what Eric says. Just to pass it with a dunk 55 times. There's a it's running. It's a cycle. There's a cycle of it.
John, that's a great question.
Ben.
I think, listen, if they want to do it right, it's the guy from the Joel meme.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
The funeral guy.
If they really want to do it right, it's Ben Simmons.
Well, like a cardboard cutout goes to Ben Simmons.
You invite him. Like, I would love that to be like to find out that happened. Like, hey, we invited Ben to ring the bell since he's back in town.
Like, put him on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Because either
he'll miss it,
or no. Either he does it, which he'll never do.
He'll pass it up.
Oh yeah, and then it's like softy. Another one. He took his ball and went home. Took his bell and went home.
Bill says Ben's sister. Oh my God!
Oh, I remember. Jeez, she was like the Anna Horford of our.
What was she be? Brett Brown. Brett Brown. Brett Brown should come ring the bell.
You know what's funny? What do you think he's thinking? We never talked about this throughout this entire saga. What the hell do you think Brett Brown's doing up in Maine on his fishing boat? He's probably smiling ear to ear.
I knew this guy was a pussy.
Oh, I knew this kid was the worst when he was 5 when I was dealing with his father.
Uh-huh.
He's like, why do you think I came to America? I left Australia. I had to leave the country because of this freaking kid.
Tried to get away from him. Oh, my
I
God.
always forget about Brett Brown, man. What are he's doing?
Probably saying, I can't believe Joe's this good.
Yeah.
Sweep said he might go get a Frosty right now.
Yeah. Tell him Ben Simmons sent you.
Oh, well, listen, it's gonna be fun down there. It's gonna be
I can't wait. I can't wait for it.
I hope we win. So
I have a feeling KD's gonna have like 40.
yeah, I got a feeling Harden might have 42.
Well, I was gonna say because Kyrie's playing, right? It's so hard to keep up with all the.
Yeah, Kyrie's playing, and
Okay.
they're good. They're good, but Joe might go for 50 on Drummond. So
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I think this is the first chance where we might see Embiid. Like, all right, let's do a little prediction because we won't be on until right after the game.
hold on, I gotta piss in.
Okay, you're fine. I'll just read some comments. Let's see. Oh my god, these comments were hilarious. Wayne says, Ben Cinnabon, all soft like we need Cinnabon posters. I mean, that's the other thing, fam. The fan signs that you're going to get, that might be the entire social media. That might be all Sixers Twitter, just fan signs. Thank you, J Love. No, I mean, listen, it's good poking fun at Ben. It's so easy. That's why it's the funniest, because it's just so damn easy to poke fun at him. Let's see. The Ben Simmons fine is $20 million, right? Yeah, that's what they're chasing. I think it's fraudulent they're chasing it, but you know, it is what it is. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Appreciate it, Bill. Tyler Coughlin says, I'm legit laughing. Why is this guy trying to sound tough on social media? Who are you talking about, Tyler? Suha says Harden, KD. See, that's the type of thing that gets KD to go off for 40. KZ says, are you guys going live during the game, or are you guys going to be at the game? No, we're going to be going. We're going to be doing a post game. We'll be on right after the game goes final, probably around like 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. Ryan, look at what Ben said on Instagram. What, the guy talks now? Did he say it, or did his brother / agency say it? Hold on. I'm going to it, Robert. I'm going to it. Bill says, Ryan, you call one lucky fan down at halftime and announce they need to make a free throw for a gift card wearing a Simmons mask. No, you do. You do you go do a callback to like Mike, Calvin Cambridge, when he calls one lucky fan. That's what I do. Just call a bunch of kids out here, random kids, and see how many of them can make their foul shots. If one of them makes it, it's more than Ben Simmons did. So that's a win. Let me see. What did he say, Robert? I can't find it. Let me see here. Just somebody tell me in the comments what he said. They tweeted saying they can't wait for Ben's return on Thursday, and he said likewise. Bro, you're not playing. Likewise. Please. Actually play basketball before you likewise us. He didn't say that. That's got to be a fake account. Please. That guy's even dumber than I thought he would be. He actually said likewise. Do you hear that, Tom?
What? I just walked back. What?
Somebody, Sixers Instagram tweeted out, or I'm sorry, they put on Instagram that they can't wait for Simmons' return. And he commented on their tweet, Ben Simmons did, saying likewise. I was like, bro, you can't say likewise when you're not playing. Likewise.
Yeah, well, that's typical him type of response. Probably didn't block him.
No, yeah, we know that very well. James Jackson says, you see Kevin Durant's comments about Sixers fans? What is this, like the Brooklyn Nets media tour tonight? No, I didn't, James Jackson. What is Durant saying now? What next? Is Kyrie going to say something? Durant, Sixers fans. Please tell me Durant's not running his mouth.
He said it's one of those things he's going to have to experience for himself. Nobody's going to hold his hand. I'm sure there's going to be some personal attacks. They want to get under his skin. Some people don't even enjoy basketball. Their lives are so shit that they get just to aim it at other people. So it's easy to get that release at a basketball game. Ben understands that. I'm sure some stuff may even be funny. Kevin Durant on Ben Simmons returning to Philly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just saw he's making $40 million a year. You can take that for a couple hours. Yeah, basically show up and just take it.
That's what I told you earlier.
Yeah.
No, he said, yeah. I mean, he's pretty much saying, dude, you better, you know. He even said some of the stuff might be funny. So
it will be. It will be hilarious.
Maybe Hinkie should ring the bell.
Man, another guy. I'm telling you, we need to have like a friggin' reunion with all these guys.
We should have Colangelo's fucking burner phone ring the bell.
Eric Jr. But real quick before we sign off though, Tom, how many points do you think Harden and Embiid have on Thursday?
I think Joe goes for 40, and I think Harden goes for 25 plus.
I'm going 29 Harden, 38 Embiid.
Exact.
You don't have to give me.
41 and 28. But I think the 28 is like 28, 12, and 10.
No, I think he goes triple double. I absolutely think so. Down saying
Kyrie went off tonight. I mean, Kyrie went off for 40 tonight.
Did
he
he?
only had 14.
Did they win?
Yeah.
Who'd they play?
Charlotte.
Oh, it's not a bad win. It's not a bad win at all.
No, and Durant, like I said, Durant only had 14.
Casey said, what do you guys think about this tribute video? What a joke. Would boo it worse than how Roman Reigns got booed the night after he beat The Undertaker? Casey, you probably joined after Tom and I talked about it. I don't care. Like, I'm not... Like, I know a bunch of people got mad at Doc for saying the other night, like, oh, he deserves a tribute video. What else is he going to friggin' say? Like, he did do, like, listen, did he win a championship here? No. Did it end horribly? Yes. Is it all mostly his fault? Yes. But it's...
You know what, though? We're in a better spot than we would ever have been with him.
Yes. We got, like, thanks for Harden. Thank you. Like, if we want to be petty, be like, thanks for the memories, thanks for Harden. Make that a graphic at the end.
Yeah, we got a top 10 player in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thanks for allowing that to happen.
Thanks for being the stat stuffing, all-star chasing. Everybody talks about your potential loving player that you've been for 5 years, because if you weren't that, nobody would have been dumb enough to take you after you took your ball and literally went home.
Yep.
So thank you. Legitimately thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be booze, fuck you, some thanks for Harden, and, people down there call it a night. But it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, if we win a title this year or next year or whatever, in the instance when we win that title, okay, aside from the players playing on the court, the first person I'm going to thank is Ben Simmons. Because his fraudulence caused the gateway to get Harden in here. So thanks.
Yeah, it did. It did. It made for what looks to be a perfect relationship.
Yeah.
5-0 playing together. Going for 6-0 against two guys who can flat out score it. So it's going to be a fun environment. And then you got two guys that were just here, and Seth and Andre. So, that brings some electricity too. And you're going to have some guys here that want to take it to those guys too. And at the end of the day, let me tell you something. If people out there haven't seen that Joel Embiid has had an agenda all season when it comes to the disrespect of his former teammate and Ben Simmons, you haven't been watching. So we are all going to say what the fans are going to do. On the court, I'll end you with this. On the court, that man's going to go off Thursday night. So everybody just be prepared for that because he knows somebody's watching him. And now he's there watching him. And don't be surprised after some buckets if he doesn't say some things to him. Now, I wonder what happens after the game because I don't think there's any love back and forth here, right? So I think after the game, there's not even handshakes. Or maybe
there's a wave. It's a wave. That's it.
Maybe there is. But I'll tell you this. He's going to go off, and he's going to be looking over there. There might even be some points.
Two quick things. One, another idea I had real quick. Wonder, because again, Ben's going to, even though it's going to be beefed up security, maybe say, for example, it's a 20-point lead for the Sixers. Maybe I throw like Niang out there, or maybe Millsap, little like, because they weren't teammates, but former net. You know how sometimes they're going for a ball and sometimes you collide with a fan, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe how the play sometimes makes its way into the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like the infamous Shaq, he jumps over to some people where he crashes into the opposing bench. Who's like a big body that I can send out there who might just, might lose his footing and bump into Ben? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody take him out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll throw Niang out there. He's a big body. And two, GOAT stature, no, because James Harden against Ben Simmons in his career is averaging like 36, 12, and 8.
Yeah, there's still people that defend it. Must be a Nets fan. Good luck. He's probably not even going to play this year. But I'm looking forward to the boos. I'm looking forward to the fuck yous. And yeah, just don't throw shit, people. Just don't be stupid.
Don't cross the lines that we know you don't cross.
No, just because I don't want it to affect the game. Like I want to watch basketball. So don't let it affect the delay of the game or any of that. And programming alert, all right, which is brought to you by BetUS. And I don't know where this is hidden. There we go. Found it. BetUS is the leading online sports book who's been in the market for 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use the link right pinned in our comment section over on YouTube and right in our Facebook description on Facebook. So 2 spots, you can find the link and you get 125% sign-up bonus. And if you do that, all you got to do is deposit $50, and that actually helps us, family. So if you're supporters of us and you want to get 125% bonus for just signing up and spending and depositing $50, listen, go do it. Help us help you. And the programming alert is A2D Wednesday night, so we have a lot of fun stuff here. So Monday morning quarterback, here we are right now. And tomorrow night, which is A2D Wednesday nights, is going to be moved to Thursday so we can come to you after the Sixers Nets game. All right? So we're going to come to you with our reactions following that basketball game. So if you're just tuning in or you've been here for a while and you tune in and you haven't, hit the subscribe, hit the follow wherever you're watching us from. Turn your damn alerts on. We have 15 live shows, so say it every time I'm on. If you don't like what you're hearing here, you'll probably like somebody else then. All right, and there's a cup of tea for everybody. Cup of tea for everybody. Rye, great show.
Sir, too.
See you after the Ben reunion here. So it'll be fun.
I'll see you after the bottle parade.
Yeah, hopefully no bottles. But people do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, if everyone wants to rush the court and like tackle them as a fan base, that's fine too.
Yeah, it's fine. Just if you're cool with getting arrested, that's fine.
Yeah, everybody goes and they hold them up in the air, like, you know what I mean, like at a Jewish wedding.
I thought you were pulling like a Simba
on a chair. I don't know. Listen, people, just rain them with a bunch of verbals. Have a great verbal night.
Mm-hmm.
And every Monday morning quarterback, we are brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use our promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp right on the Apple Store. It's where you can find them. Go download it and make sure you're depositing, make sure you're entering the promo code A2D. That's Ryan Brotto. I'm Tom Arnone. We'll see you again Thursday night. So nothing tomorrow, but make sure you're over on our Twitch all the time too if you're into gaming, because A2D Twitch rocking and rolling over there between Andy and Ralphie. So Ralphie's giving you some college football, Andy giving you some Fortnite. So, and we got more coming, more on the way. So we're out of here. Thanks again. Thank you all for tuning in. All the comments. Fucking love all of you. Hit the goddamn fucking like. We out of here.